Cooking Everything Outdoors show. I hope you try this at home. 3-4 tablespoons of canola oil to my Dutch oven. I have all my heat on the bottom because we're frying. And I'm going to start laying my medallions in there to start browning these up. You can hear that sizzle hot, ready to go. So you don't burn yourself. Also make sure you don't put in so much oil that you have to drain it afterwards, because we don't want to do that. I want to really use what's in this pot, because all this flour, just like you're getting ready to make gravy, we're going to be making our piccata sauce to go on top of this. So looks like it's time to turn these over. What I'm looking for is it's starting to whiten up around the edges. It means it's just cooking up and getting closer to done. Starting to turn color as we flip it over. That's going to give us a little bit of crunchiness. And this is the critical part here, where I think that you can make some pretty big mistakes by not cooking it all the way through. So we want to make sure once we've turned this that we indeed cook it all the way through. Now there's a couple ways of telling if it's cooked all the way through or not. Obviously one is take a thermometer, and we want to check the temperature to make sure it's reached 165 degrees. That's the USDA recommended internal temperature of chicken before it's safe to eat. Also, we can just take and cut a piece open, find the thickest one there and cut it, and make sure that it runs. When it's cut open, it's cooked all the way through. There's no pink. We have no pink running juices, just clear juices. So there's really two ways we can do that. One of the advantages of keeping the chicken piccata in small pieces is that it does cook rather quickly. I think the total cooking time we're probably going to have here on our chicken is about 10 minutes. The weather is warmed up a little bit more, so it's not nearly as cold as it was when we first started an hour ago. So we need, you can see this one's a little more golden brown than this one. That's okay. We can move them around in the pot as we need to. That's what frying is all about. And I'm just going to let that cook until it's completely cooked through. Could be another 4 or 5 minutes. One of the things I'm going to do at this point is I'm just going to break all the Dutch oven cooking rules where we don't peek and we don't mess with it, but I'm going to just stir it around. One of the objectives here is to get a lot of bits of the flour and the chicken on the bottom of this thing too, because we're going to make our sauce out of that. So as I'm moving the chicken around, it's actually releasing some pieces down there. Taking some of the thicker ones and I'm turning them a couple different times to make sure I get cooked all the way through. Most of the thinner ones right now are clearly cooked all the way through, and I'm happy with that. So our chicken piccata is cooked through, and we're serving this on a lid. So I have preheated my Dutch oven lid here, and I'm just going to start putting my medallions around the edge of this lid. You can cook on your lids. Obviously you can serve on your lids. That's exactly what we're going to be doing here. These are just the way I like it. You see all the little bits and chunks down there. And gravy aficionados would be chomping at the bit to get some of that. Some nice chicken gravy. And that is what we're looking for, because what we're going to do now is we're going to get our sauce going, and we're doing it right in the bottom of this Dutch oven. And that is just turning out nice. Poor Bailey's saying, why can't I have some? Okay. So that lid's hot, and that's going to keep our chicken hot. Now let's get our sauce going. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our sliced garlic. We're going to add our mushrooms. We're going to just cook these up until the fragrance of the garlic has been released and the mushrooms are going to soften up just a little bit. And you know that won't take long at all. You could, there's no reason why you couldn't put some green onions in here. I think that would actually add to it nicely, certainly give it some more color. You could maybe put some minced onion in there, though I think that would be a little bit too strong. I think green onion would be a good complement to it. Some chives or something to that effect, scallions, however fancy you want to get with it. And we're just keep it moving. You don't want anything to burn. The whole object of this is to make a really hearty sauce. Get some of those bits and pieces up. Doesn't take long for mushrooms to soften, and we really don't want them cooked too much because when we pour our sauce in here, that's going to boil a little while, and that's going to soften and cook your mushrooms even more. So at this point, we're just really basically just warming them up. I want my mushrooms, when I have them with my piccata, to have a little soft, firm texture to it. So not as if you were to make mushrooms for your steak or whatnot. That would be a little too soft and too tender for me. Coming along nicely. Alright, so the mushrooms are where we want them. I'm going to add my chicken broth. In almost a whole can. This is what do we have here? I have a 14.5 ounce can. So I'm going to get that going, and I want to add my lemon slices now. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring this to a boil. We're going to cook it for a little bit and get some more of these flavors, and then as this gets boiling, I'm going to start scraping some more pieces off the bottom of this. And this is going to be a reduction. As we're cooking, we're going to be reducing this until it becomes somewhat thicker, and we'll be adding some butter to it and a little bit more lemon juice to get that lemon flavor. And then we're going to drizzle it all over our chicken, and it's just going to be over the top.